Hey, welcome to this time. I'm Dave Kidder, and this is Mike Bustamante. Say hey,
Hi.
Mike.
Hey, what's up?
Okay, we're awake now. Hey, so today we're going to talk about two of the things we love the most are investors and for sale by owners. And we're going to kind of touch on why maybe investors focus on for sale by owners. And if you are thinking of selling your home yourself, we want to give you some maybe a little guidance and some tips on how to deal with investors. And investors, we're going to give you some tips and guidance on maybe how to deal with for sale by owners. So I'm
All
going
right.
to let Mike jump on in.
Okay. Yeah, I came up with a few things. Now, the for sale by owners, they're always trying to say, hey, we don't need a real estate agent. So they're going to make money on their own. So that's why they go ahead and do a for sale by owner. They think they're saving a couple $1,000s. Now, that's not always the case, but for an investor, that's fantastic because that gives them the leverage to go in and say, hey, you're not using an agent. Why don't you just lower the price? Because I got cash and I can get it closed now. So just lower it a little bit and we can get it done. Where the for sale by owners sometimes will right away cave in because they got cash and they can get their home sold. Well, they kind of did the opposite of what they were supposed to do. They got rid of the agent so they could make more money, yet they give it away to the investor.
So they're paying a commission either way. So that commission comes out whether they pay an agent or they pay an investor. Okay.
Exactly. And by not using an agent, they're not representing themselves. They don't have any backup there. But that's good for the investor to get in there and make a couple extra bucks on the sale. That's why a lot of them go after the for sale by owners.
So, Mike, have you ever sold a house by yourself without an agent?
No, I have not.
I haven't either, and yet I suspect that if I were to sell a house by myself, that at the very least I'm going to want an attorney to take a look at it. So part of the commission I just saved, I just gave to the attorney now. So not that attorneys are bad, don't get me wrong. Some of my best friends are attorneys. But again, the question is, do I want to, pay an attorney who may not be every day in real estate, or pay an agent who their livelihood is selling homes? So it's just food for thought.
Right. Yeah. Either way, I mean, they're coming out with some money out of pocket. So
yeah.
Right.
So, any other concerns that you would have for sell by owner that they might need to know?
Yeah, there's I came up with a few other things. One of them is repairs, because I've contacted for sale by owners myself, and their big thing is sell as is. We don't want to make any repairs, and I found that either the sellers don't know how to do the repairs, they don't know what they're looking for, they just don't want to put any money out of pocket. They think it should be for the buyer to take care of all their problems that they created the whole time they've had the home by not keeping up with the maintenance. Now, again, that's another reason why investors like the for sale by owners, because they'll come in and look at the property, say the for sale by owner guy wants $250 for it. Well, the investor's going to come in and say, you know what, why don't I'll give you $240. So they agree on the $240. Well, then the investor's going to go in and have a home inspection done and come up with a whole list of repairs that got to get done.
Yeah.
They will inflate the price, and then they go back to the seller and say, hey, we found another, $15,000 worth of damage here. You need to lower the price. You got to lower the price. Where this is where the investor again comes in, having knowledge that there's going to be repairs, so they've got a way to lower the price down further. They can keep on the for sale by owner, keep pressuring them until he brings it down, since they've already been in escrow a little while.
Yeah.
The seller doesn't really want to keep going in and out of escrow all the time. Plus, again, the investor go, hey, but we got cash. I mean, just lower it another 15. We'll have this thing done in 2 or 3 days. Where again, the for sale by owner isn't always protecting themselves, because either, like I say, they don't know what repairs are or what need to be done, or they just don't want to do it. But again, I mean, who's going to buy a house? Whether you've got an investor or first-time home buyer who wants to buy a house that's got a lot of problems in it. So not all seller for sale by owners stop to think about that.
So one of the things that you said was they don't know what to do. And you and I both have just a wealth of, we call them vendors, but they're repairmen, contractors, plumbers, electricians, roofers, sewer guys, name it, carpet guys, who we know are going to give us a fair price and I've worked with enough of them that if somebody says, hey, I need this fence repaired, the investor may say, well, that's going to cost $5,000, but in reality, I can have that done for $1,500. And the seller may not know that. So just the agent himself will save them massive amounts of money in the repairs that need to be done over what the investor is willing to pay them for. And here's an important part is how many for sale by owners, if they know that they may have an issue, go out and get a home inspection ahead of time. So they know exactly what the problems are in the home. So when an investor does show up, they can say, well, here's my home repair, or here's my home inspection, and everything that you just called out is not the case. And kind of, play their own game. Say, well, actually, our house is pretty good, and actually, we're not charging you enough. So it gives them a point of negotiation if they've already done their homework or they have an agent who's done the homework for them.
Exactly. And again, the agent would be saving them money on the repair part because they would know it's really not 15,000 worth of damage. It may be only 7,000 or 8,000.
No.
But an investor needs to make a little more profit, so that's just part of the game they play, and I understand it.
And last point. So I have a home that has $15,000 worth of repairs for $300,000, and yet I know as a realtor that if I do the $15,000, it may very well raise the value of that home to say $350,000. Now, it doesn't always work that way. Sometimes you make repairs to a house and it doesn't add value to the house at all. It just makes it more sellable. A lot of times it does make the house look nicer. So a paint job, the carpet, the landscaping, maybe clean up the tile in the kitchen. Those little things might add value over and above what I spend on the repairs. A lot of homeowners, well, I'm going to install a pool or solar thinking that that's going to add value to the home, and a realtor is going to say, time out. Actually, it works exactly the opposite. It actually could lower the value of your home to install solar. So they don't know. They just know.
Yeah, right. Exactly. They have no idea. Yeah. Now, I did come up with another one too. And, that's when the sellers, they have to sell because there's maybe there's a death in the family, they lose their job or something, and then they're in bad straits and they really get the house sold. And they figure they can do it a whole lot faster by themselves than they can with an agent because they figure they can negotiate better.
Yeah.
But when they get in these situations, their emotions kind of take over and they might be in too much of a hurry. This, again, is where an investor comes in, but you have to be more of a savvy investor because you do have to take into consideration their feelings, because you got to find out exactly why they need to sell so fast. And then you have to be a little considerate on the fact that, maybe you lost your job. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah. But again, the investor coming in with cash can say, hey, I can remedy your situation. I feel for you, but I got cash and I can get you out and on your way and through the issue immediately. I run across, too many of these investors that, have ego problems or something, and they just want to bash them hard and they want to get after them. It's like, just take it easy on the people. Just learn to negotiate a little bit, smile a little bit, feel for them. But again, that's a good way for investors. That's why they go out to the for sale by owners sometimes. It's just they know there's a situation that they can maybe take advantage of a little bit and make a little extra money. Where if the for sale by owner had gotten an agent, he would have someone that's not as emotional that can step back and look at both sides and help make this for sale by owner, who would be a seller, understand that we're trying to make the most money for you.
And that raises a great point. If I'm an investor, I'm not just looking to buy one home. I'm looking to buy maybe the home of a friend that you have. And so if it's a win-win situation where the seller walks away from it thinking, that worked out pretty well, that took care of my needs, the investor was compassionate, it was maybe not as much money as I was hoping for, but he made it very, very easy. And somebody says, how'd you sell your house so quick? And they said, well, this investor, and said, well, we're thinking of selling our home too. So the investor has to look at the referral business also, that their good reputation is out there. If they're continually taking advantage of the people, that gets out a whole lot quicker than when they do a good job.
Oh, yeah.
By having a good, where everybody feels like they've won at the end of the transaction, that person's willing to tell other people about that investor. And I think it bodes well for them. like you said, Mike, have a little compassion, be upfront, be legitimate, be square with them, what they're going to do, and do what you say.
Exactly. Yeah, it helps. It helps tremendously. I mean, everybody knows we've all been in a bad situation, and it's nice to have someone come up and understand what you're doing and try to help solve the issue for you as well as them. And everybody comes out, feeling as happy as possible, trying to get the deal done. Yeah.